another video from Painting Table. Today what I'm going to be doing is showing you the technique that I use when I paint gems on my models. So to do that, I've got a dwarf hammerer with me, and if you take a look, I've pretty much completed painting this model except on the hammer. Right in the center there of the hammer there is a gem. There's one on both sides, and so I'm gonna go through the process of how I would paint that gem and let you see what it's gonna look like. Hopefully you will find something valuable and be able to take something away. This isn't the only way to paint gems, but it's the process that I use and I've been pretty pleased with. So to start off, I've got a detail brush that I'm going to be using. This is a Citadel detail brush you could see here. I don't always use the Citadel brushes, but we happen to pick this one up for free. So it holds its point well enough, and you can see just it's a very small tip, and that is what you're looking for when working with such a small area. I've got 5 different pots of paint arrayed in front of me that I'm going to be using to paint the gem. So let's go through them. First and foremost, what you're always going to want, no matter what color you're using, is going to be black. So I've got Citadel Chaos Black. Then I've got Citadel Skull White. Again, you're always going to want black and white no matter what type of gem you're using. And then this is going to be a turquoise gem, so I've got Mordian Blue, which is one of their foundation colors. That's going to be my base coat. And Hawk Turquoise, which is going to be sort of the main color of the gem. And after I finish painting the gem, I'm going to cover it with a gloss varnish, which is going to make it shine and really sort of have it stand out and look like a gem from across the tabletop. So the first thing, and I've already done this, is I completely cover the area with Chaos Black. Start with my darkest shade of blue, which is the Mordian Blue again. So I'm just going to open the pot up, wet my brush, put a little bit of paint onto the brush, and I'm going to be painting a crescent shape onto the model, onto the gem. And the way you want to do this is leaving the part that'll still be black will be towards the top of the model, and it should be facing wherever the light source would be coming from. So in this instance, it's going to be sort of up over in this direction is where I'm going to leave it black. So pick up my model here, and I'm going to paint on my blue crescent. You can see that I'm sort of, well, maybe you can't see, I'm sort of holding my hands together to brace, to stabilize, so that I'm not shaking as I'm doing this. And just going to cover the majority of the gem's surface, I'd say about 80%, with the Mordian Blue. And as I do this, I'm making sure that the paint is not going on chunky. This is a fairly new pot of paint, so add a little bit of water to the brush and it should be fine. So now I've covered it about 80% with Mordian Blue, and I've left the very top, I've done it in like a U crescent shape, and I've left the very top up here is still just the pure Chaos Black. Okay, so my next step now is going to be to take the Hawk Turquoise, the lighter or the main color, and I am going to paint on another crescent or U shape over the initial one of Mordian Blue, pretty much in the same area, but I am going to leave a pretty solid layer of the Mordian Blue in between the black and where the blue color starts. So I'm probably going to cover up about, I'd say 80% of the Mordian Blue that I put on here. And the part that I'm not covering is being left as an added layer between the black and the Hawk Turquoise, so closer towards the top of the gem. So I'm just painting on my Hawk Turquoise now as my next color. and nothing too fancy, just want to get the main shape, the crescent shape down. Once again, try and replicate it like you did with the Mortium Blue. Okay, so let's take a picture and see what that looks like. Fantastic. So now for the third application of paint, I'm going to be mixing about 50% Hawk Turquoise and 50% Skull White in order to brighten up the color or make it a little bit lighter. And I'm just mixing the colors together right now on my palette so that they're ready to go. And it's going to look like it's a pretty big jump up in color, but that's okay. That's sort of what you want when you're applying it to get the final gem-like effect. So once again, I'm going back to the model, and I'm going to paint the U shape again, and this time I'm just going to go along the very bottom, probably only covering about, I don't know, a quarter of the layer of Hawk Turquoise that I just applied. And you're trying to make it almost just like a thin line, doing the bottom outline of the crescent shape that you've been making. And so this is going to now have created 3 layers of color, starting with the Mortium Blue, and then the Hawk Turquoise, and now the mix of Hawk Turquoise and Skull White, about 50-50. So let's take another picture, and we'll come back, and we're actually pretty close to finishing up the gem. So here we go. Alright, now for the next step, what we're going to be doing is just applying a small dot of pure Chaos White, or Skull White rather, applying a dot of Skull White onto the black area, the area of the gem that we've left completely black. And this is sort of supposed to be the shine of the model. So again, you want to put it right at the top of the gem where the light would be directly hitting the gem. That's what you're looking for. And so you only want to have a little bit of Skull White on your brush and do a small dot, and it should be completely within the black area. So I'm paint on my dot there, and that looks pretty good to me as I'm checking it out here. So let's take a picture of it, and after this dries, we're just going to cover it with a coat of gloss varnish, and it'll be all set. So we'll take a picture, wait for it to dry, cover it with the gloss varnish, take another picture, and then you will have yourself one turquoise gem. Alrighty, now that the paint has had some time to dry, which didn't take very long because I'm applying such a small amount, maybe about 5-10 minutes or so, I'm going to be finishing the gem up by covering it with a layer of gloss varnish, and this is going to help make the gem shine and stand out on the battlefield. So I can go ahead and apply that now. And I like to say, you know, it's a couple steps to get the gem down, but once you get the basic process and you understand how to put the different layers of the crescent shape and where to put the area that you're leaving black, it's all about just finding the light source, so the natural light source for the gem. So you're going to want to figure out where would light be touching. It's usually somewhere towards the top and off to one side of the model. And it's pretty easy to do with any basic color. You can do a green gem, red, orange, blue, or purple, anything like that. And the trick is to pick two colors. So for blue, I picked a dark Mortian blue and then a lighter Hawk turquoise, and I mixed those. I mixed the Hawk turquoise with white to make the lightest. So you need three colors. You need the darkest, the medium, and the lightest. And usually to achieve the lightest, you're just going to want to mix skull white in. So if you were doing it with green, you do a dark green, like a medium color green, and then you mix it with white to make the lightest color. So hopefully you'll be able to apply some of the things that you've seen me do here into your own process of painting gems. And if you try out this technique, why not take a picture of it and post it up on the forums on the Painting Table website, paintingtable.com, and we can take a look at it and see how it worked for you. Also, if you have other ways of painting gems that is a little bit different than what I've done here and you'd like to share that, and we'd love to hear that as well. So thanks for watching, and have a good night.